Alrighty, this is kind of for myself. But when I have a PS4 and obviously a PS2 and a PS1 memory card, I'm sorry, I didn't sleep for shit. And I had an alarm set for 9. I'm up and about, gonna pray that I get the job at Tropical Smoothie, and obviously time will tell when I actually review this, be like, oh, well, that kind of sucked, I never got the job, and I loved it so much, I wanted it so bad, but hey, this video is to remind myself that what I'm going through right now, and a video idea or video series idea I want to do when I start a YouTube channel, which is, of course, I do want to play older nostalgic games from my childhood and just do, walkthroughs or free runs or whatever, and just sit there and be like, hey guys, I'm playing, and you get to just enjoy watching me play, I guess that would be technically more of a Twitch stream thing. That I could do the more structured stuff on YouTube. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. I'd love on how much my stress level's gone down, so now that I can, think about the future more versus the past or the present. The present is taking care of the past I've healed from, it seems, and yeah. The Seraphim Blueprint and the Reiki combo really, really helped. Anyways, a lot of Spyro, the Reignited trilogy, has videos have come out and on my YouTube homepage, and I'm like, you know what? I loved the first game. Didn't play much of the second or third game, and quite honestly, I couldn't tell you which was which of the PlayStation 1 era Spyro games. I've played Legend of Spyro the Dragon, A New Beginning. I think that's what it was called. The one where they have David Spades playing the voice of Sparks. Didn't mind that game too much, but then again, I don't get too critical about my games because I just enjoy them, Anywho, though, I've heard some criticism over the graphics and over certain things of the Reignited Spyro Trilogy game, because realistically it's kind of just one game with 3 games on one disc. Note to self for future reference, when you get a trilogy remaster type thing like the Insane Trilogy, it's pretty much just one game, so just refer to it as the Insane Trilogy game, for sake of professionalism and less talking. But yeah, I want to actually talk about things that I did when I was a kid within these games, on how I would just goof off, and then I could just ask questions, be like, hey, as a child, did you ever just indulge in just shrinking and growing and pretending you were the dictator overlord in I can't remember what level that is in the first Spyro, or using your bazooka, your Wampa Fruit bazooka, I called it apples back in the day because I didn't know they were called Wampa Fruits, for Crash Warp, and just sit there and just, blow up everything, even if it was, you were literally saying right in front of it, nope, gotta go down, I want to talk about the fun things that I did just for the sake of being a kid, and I was just enjoying my game. This was just a fun thing. I didn't have to play it all the way through. It was a fun pastime, and it was kind of like when I would play Bionicles or, to other people, so that you understand. It's like when you play Legos or when you play, Barbies or whatever, pretend house or some bullshit that you do when you're a kid. I did a lot of creative and just imaginary things when I was a kid, even inside my games. you know, be like, all right, I'm doing this, yeah. But yeah, so let's do that in a future video. Let's talk about the differences, even though it'll be long past time of the crime when everyone's watching it, but who cares? Of the Insane Trilogy and the differences. And the fun thing is, and I might actually upload this to YouTube for the sake of how I'm addressing it and kind of just going on, talking to the camera. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've never actually played, I haven't played the first Crash game ever. I've played the Insane Trilogy Crash one, but you know, graphics are different, the attitude and animation of Cortex is different. You know, they made him more like a freaking cartoonish villain, in a sense. Like, he was just more goofy. I didn't like the goofy change. I like the serious tone that the original villains had in Crash. So, there are some games in both of these trilogy sets, Reignited for Spyro and Insane Trilogy for Crash, that I've just never played. And so, I would love to do my own first impression review and comparison as well, since, you know, I know how to kind of put my mind back into that, you know, era of I'm playing an N64, just like if I was playing an N64 back in the day, you know, and enjoy the graphics of the N64, you know, and not compare them to today's graphics like most people do. You know, most people, they are stuck in the now, and they can't live in that moment and enjoy it like you did back in the day. But, I don't know, I have a weird thing where I can do that, you know? So, yeah, it would be, I think it'd be a cool thing to do. Play both trilogy games, and then, play the original PS1 games, and give my thoughts and comparisons. Because, honestly, sometimes when you update graphics and you do remastering, you lose some of the essence, as, in my opinion, the Insane Trilogy did with Crash and his villains, and, you know, their attitudes, their personalities even, you know? Personalities were kind of different. And sometimes the lack of graphical capacity or whatever, you know, made them more menacing. You know, instead of having these long, curly flows going off the side of his head, he had this, like, very pointed and straightness to it. And it made his, especially in the holograms, like, dude, this guy is kind of, he's a bad guy. You know, so, you know, sometimes you gotta admire the aesthetic and how the limitations and how something looks in those graphics versus the graphics of today. You know, everyone praises the Insane Trilogy. All the graphics look amazing. This is how I always thought Crash would look like. Crash, to me, does look the same. I mean, you look at, especially the second and the third game,